Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout for the Peartree Cutfiles design team. I am using the new Explore Arrows cut file from the May Pearscription. I am also combining that with the Cocoa Vanilla Studios The Great Escape collection. So I am getting a ton of photos on this 2-page layout and using the Explore Arrows cut file as my title. So I am trimming down some of these smaller photos. Those I printed out at 3x4, but then they were still too large. I had, I guess, too many photos and my title was going to be too large to keep them 3x4 and not have them halfway off the page. So here is the outline of the cut file here. I did offset it and cut it in this green color. And then I just ended up cutting the cut file out in white. And keeping it kind of open where you could see the green in the background. So my 6 main photos are just going to go across the page. So I'm going to tape those down and won't make you watch all of it. So now I'm going to work on the cut file a little bit. Like I said, for the most part, I'm going to let the green kind of show through the back of the cut file here. But with, oh man, I always get these wrong. Is it a geotag? I don't know. I am going to back that at least. So I'm kind of going through my scrap pieces, trying to figure out what piece to use, what color I want, and I decided on this orange chevron. So I'm just going to trace around it and glue that down. And then it also had a smaller circle in the center of it. So I'm going to actually then add a different pattern paper to the middle of that as well. And it just happened to be a green pattern paper that was like a compass, and the size of the circle was perfect to kind of fit one of the compasses right in the middle of the circle. So once I get that cut and taped down, I believe I actually pop that circle up on some foam tape, again, just to give the layout a little bit of dimension. And I just like how simple the whole entire cut file looks. There's nothing like too busy about it. I added just a simple kind of pattern paper there, and I like how large the offset is. So the nice thing with the offset, again, I'm kind of newer to that since I really started with the Peartree Cutfiles design team. But you can decide how wide you want the offset. So if you really wanted it thin, you could go ahead and do that as well. This one, because I knew that I wanted the green to show, I really kind of made it a little bit larger. Only because if you have it smaller, sometimes in the middle of some of the letters, there are openings. And I knew I didn't want that because the green was really going to be the background of my cut file. So hopefully that makes sense. And this is on a Cricut. I don't know about a Silhouette or any other cutting machines. I just use the Cricut. So once I have that done, I mean, really that is my title there, and I just really like the way that looks. I think I do end up having to go back up and adding the middles to the P and the R just to finish it out. This would have been an easy one to kind of back each of the letters as well, and that would have looked great, I'm sure. But again, I just like the simplicity. I feel like that white on that green just really makes that title pop. So I wanted to add some pattern papers to the layout, especially because, you know, I have 6 photos going right across the middle of this layout. So what I ended up doing is using this plaid paper. Originally, I thought I would map my whole layout because I like doing that, but I decided against it only because I really couldn't trim down any of my photos. So in order to kind of add a border around my layout, I would have needed to cut down my white cardstock a little bit. And I really didn't feel like I had enough space in my photos to trim any of them down enough. So that is why I decided not to mat the or border, I guess, the layout. Instead, I added strips to the top and the bottom. So I decided once I got the plaid paper down there to add some of the green. So I added a small strip of the green to the plaid paper and then a thicker strip to the top of the photos. And I just felt like that gave a good barrier to, I guess, the pattern paper and the photos. And then I decided to pop up the title on some foam tape as well. So I'm going to do that, and again, just really gives the layout some dimension. And what I like too is the top of all of my photos are really kind of maybe some empty space. So I was able to overlap my title onto my photos there. So this is a trip we took to Tequamanon Falls in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and so I have tons and tons of photos. There's a lower falls and there's an upper falls, and I thought originally when I had taken the pictures that I would try to kind of separate the two, distinguish from the two, but I didn't. Instead, I just kept them all together and decided to get, let's see, so there's 6 there, 7, 8, 9 photos on this page, I believe. Obviously 2 of which are smaller, but or 3 of them are smaller, but still I was able to get a handful of them on this page. So I'm going to do the same thing, same idea on the bottom of the page that I did on the top, except that I'm not going to use a larger strip by the photos. I kept them all, I believe, just a 1/4 inch. I think the larger strip on the top is a 1/2 inch, but on the bottom, I decided to keep them all just a 1/4 inch because I didn't feel like I had much space, and I did want some of that white to show through. A majority of it will be covered up by some photos, especially on the right-hand side. But again, I did want some of the white to show through, and adding, I felt like even another 1/4 inch of the green paper would have cut into that too much. So for the bottom photos, I did trim them down quite a bit. I am only going to mat, I guess I'm going to mat both of them. I thought I did just one, but I did not do white because I didn't have enough space. Okay, so what I ended up doing, I matted 2 of them, one for page 1 and with the orange, one with the orange on page 2, and then I found whitewashed kind of wood grain, and it actually looked really cool with the fence that's in that photo. They're kind of like the same color, the fence and that wood grain. So what that one photo is the boys found somebody had etched into the fence, "God is good," and they just love that. So they did a heart around that, and I snapped a picture. So that's what that one is. Otherwise, there's just a whole bunch of photos of everybody that was there. I'm trying to look. I think maybe my brother-in-law is missing in these photos. Oh, no. He's covered up right now. He is on page 1. I was going to say everybody else is in the photos except for him, but I think he is on page 1. It was just covered up there. Yep. So embellishments, I am running low on the ephemera for this collection. So I was kind of at the mercy of what I had left. So I did decide to use a tag from the sticker sheet and then a piece of ephemera. At the top there, I did find some mountains, which were not really in the mountains. They're waterfalls, but again, that's what I had. So I will kind of keep those to the bottom right and create a cluster down there. There was a little slab of tree in the chipboard, and I just thought that was really cute, and it fit in that circle on the title, and I like how it kind of zeroes that in a little bit, almost like a bullseye, I guess, but really liked how that looked at the title, on the title there. On the far left, I had a piece of chipboard that I could use. There are some stars, chipboard stars that I had left. So I decided to kind of go with the star theme to kind of finish off the clusters. So there were some phrases as well that I decided to kind of stack on top of each other on top of the mountains for that cluster on the bottom right. And then really kind of finish off with the stars. I also have kind of some smaller epoxy stars as well. So I had, I believe, just 3 chipboard stars and 3 clusters. So that worked out really nice that I was able to add 1 to each of the clusters there. At least a bigger star. I think I will kind of go scatter some of the smaller ones throughout each of those clusters. And then add some to the title. I do want to journal. So to the right of the smaller photo on page 1, I plan on journaling in that space. I believe I keep that wide open. So that is what will end up going there. And then once I'm done kind of scattering these stars, then that is going to finish off the layout. So definitely check out Peartree Cutfiles. They have great cut files. The Pearscription is a monthly subscription of exclusive cut files, but she also releases some each month as well. And then she's got flare and acrylic pieces too. So definitely check them out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.